have that position?
So I've been the sheriff now for going on 13 years.
In that time, have you ever seen a case like the case right now?
This is probably one of the more interesting cases, particularly because it has a lot of medical aspects to it. So it's a very technical case that has taken a lot of creativity and ingenuity on the detectives and the deputies' part to put this murder together. But they have done a terrific job of it. I'm very impressed and pleased with my staff.
I mean, can you talk about some parts of how or when detectives started putting the pieces together on this?
Well, it honestly, it happened right away. So kudos to the family and kudos to the medical staff at Houston Methodist Hospital in Baytown. They were really the ones that put the thought process and the information together, and just started showing the detectives and the officers, the deputies that responded to the hospital, started putting the facts together, and that puzzle started putting itself together pretty quickly. So I would say that the most impressive thing would probably be the hospital staff at Houston Methodist there in Baytown, and then the fact that my responding deputies that actually made the scene there at the hospital immediately saw the problems and the issues and got on the telephone and started immediately talking to the detectives. And Detective Skylar Rocks replied not just by answering the phone, but by getting in the car and driving to the hospital, where she could immediately start interviewing family and doctors and nurses, and so the puzzle started getting put together right away.
What were the key pieces of evidence that led to the murder charge?
Well, I don't want to get too deep into something because I don't know exactly how the judge is going to handle the jury, and the last thing I would want is for the jury to hear something evidence-wise from me that wasn't presented by the district attorney's office. So, but I will tell you the sequence and the timing of the crime has a lot to do with situations of how normal families handle when one of their loved ones who they know is a diabetic, starts having diabetic issues. You know, most family members know how to handle those things, and so when you just look at the timeline and what should have been done and what wasn't done, and then the things that were done, that puzzle comes together pretty fast.
Sheriff, the defendant has been in your jail for about 2.5 years now, and can you talk to us kind of about her demeanor and actions in jail? There's an assault that's listed on some of the court documents of another inmate that possibly happened earlier this year.
Yeah, that happened early. You know, in the big picture, she's been a model inmate. She's not been a major problem to us. We've have our share of little issues, but we have those with every inmate in a county jail. But in the big picture, you know, she's not been a problem as far as the overall jail operations.
Can you just walk us through the process that she's going to go through every day for maybe the next 3 weeks, right? Because she has to get out of, I guess, what she's wearing in jail to put on civilian clothing. How does that work?
Well, obviously, it's totally up to the court, but normally we always take somebody that is being accused of this kind of a crime. When they come before the jury, we don't have them wearing the jail stripes or the jumpsuits, so we allow them and their attorneys to work out whatever kind of clothing that they want to wear. So we'll allow her to change her dress every day when we get her out from the cell.
And every day she'll be brought into the building and then taken back?
That is correct, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, just because of the circumstances dealing with her history, the judge has set bonds that just got her in a position where she's going to be incarcerated till the end of this trial.
So. Are there any extra special security or safety precautions that you guys are taking for transporting her?
Not particularly. Her flight risk is probably not much more than any other person charged with murder, so we're just treating it all the same. You know, she's somebody that's charged with murder, and so essentially we're going to treat her just like any other person that we would.
I mean, every day when she's brought back and forth, is she handcuffed? Is she shackled in any way?
We have very specific procedures on how we move inmates that have charges that we call it a decision tree. So based upon its crime, so she's handled by our standard procedures.
Is she being housed in any particular way at this time?
Well, she's in the maximum security female detention area.
Single cell or with others?
I leave that up to the jail administrator. For the most part, she's probably by herself the majority of the time, but not always.
Last question for you. Can you just speak to justice in Chambers County? If someone, commits a crime here, it seems like y'all are gonna go after them.
Well, our criminal justice system is a little bit different, say, than like Harris County, and I use it mostly because Harris County is a county of 5 million people, and so the crime and the amount of crimes that they handle are a lot different. And we have a district attorney here that she's very aggressive, particularly on crimes against children and anything that has to do with murder or crimes against people. Really is probably the best way to describe her. That she's pretty aggressive, and she has a great staff. She actually has one of her assistants handling this case, actually a couple of assistant DAs handling this case. Hopefully she'll be sitting right there with him first chair, because she's awesome in the courtroom herself. So, but we're pretty aggressive. I mean, we're a very conservative county, and I wouldn't want it any other way. It's a great place to be a sheriff in a conservative county that supports law enforcement.
Just going off of that, obviously this case has drawn national attention and a focus on Chambers County. Just what's your message, as this is a murder case, but, you being the sheriff and everything, how you see justice?
Well, it's been very fortunate for us that the way we have treated this case, and then when we started looking at her history and then finding out some of the other scenarios and situations that she has been involved with in other states, that now we have other cases that have been reopened in other states. And I'm glad they have reopened those cases, because I feel like they're probably going to find a very similar scenario as to what we have. All right, that I think that they don't realize that she's not that kind, sleepy little person that she makes herself out to be. You can just look at her overall history, and you can tell that there's a very evil side to her.